Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Welcome to the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel from the heart of the Deep South on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama, where we talk about music, records, do record reviews, interviews, and much more. If you're interested in modern jazz releases, you definitely want to subscribe to the channel because I do keep up with those and I do a lot of needle drop reviews on a lot of the independent record label releases. So I think if you're into that, you're definitely going to want to subscribe. I also do some other reviews as well. I do some rock record reviews and things like that, and do the Atlantic 75th Acoustic Sounds reviews. So if you missed those, go back and check those out. I recently did a shootout on the latest Genesis Trick of the Tail record. So go back and check that out. Tomorrow on Sunday, I have an interview with Cristiano Giardini. So please tune in for that. It's going to be a three-part interview. That I'm gonna put it out in three parts because it was like an hour and a half long, and then I'm gonna put the whole thing out together a couple weeks from now. So definitely, if you're interested in jazz, you're gonna want to hear this interview where he talks about his development as a jazz musician. He's a saxophone player from Italy. This record, by the way, is fantastic. You're definitely going to want to check that interview out. And he goes through, we talk a lot about records. He's a record collector. We talk about his favorite saxophone players. He's a very educated guy. He knows a lot about jazz history. It was a lot of fun to talk to. I really enjoyed it. So Sunday, definitely you're going to want to go check out this three-part interview. All right, today we are going to experimental jazz. This record was, or this musician was recommended to me by one of the viewers of the channel. And this guy I was not familiar with. His name is Devin Brahja Waldman. And this is the album called EEG Coherence. This is kind of far out, pretty cool stuff, something different. It did get bent up when it got shipped to me, which I'm not happy about. It wasn't packed that well. So the corner got bent here. You can see, even though it's really thick cardstock. I mean, if you look at this cardstock, it's really thick, and you can tell that when it was packed, when it was mailed, it was just stuck in a cardboard around it, and it got bent up. So I'm kind of a little ticked off about that. It's too much trouble to send it back. And there's two different versions of this. There's a numbered edition version that comes from the UK, and it's 29 euros. The US version is what this is. This is $25. Does come with an interesting book that I have not had a chance to really read. It's a lot of text in here that I'll show you. But this is experimental music. Devin is from New York. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He plays keyboards, he plays drums, he plays saxophone. He has collaborated with a lot of different people. I'll put his website below so you can go check out and learn more about him. But he studied under Paul Bley, who, if you know who he is, he's kind of very different than kind of straight ahead jazz. But this record here is definitely caught my attention. Somebody had recommended one of his earlier records, and they were out of them when I went on the website, or at least they were out of them on the English website. So anyways, I listened to this and I really dug this. So I went ahead and bought this. This is a 2024 release. So I'm pretty excited about playing this for you guys. We're going to listen to it and see what you guys think. Definitely something different. So let me take out the record. I have not played this yet. I just pulled out the booklet the other day. I got this maybe a week and a half ago. And again, just wasn't packed well. But it is a nice thick jacket you can see here. And it's, you know, unfortunately, people still don't know how to pack records in this day and age. But it's too much trouble for me to send it back, so I'm just going to live with the bent cover, unless there's something wrong with the actual pressing. All right, so here is the label. A lot of different sounds on this. You have to be a bit open to something new in order to, I think if you're one of these people that's just straight ahead jazz only, this might not be for you, but I think that you guys that are open to hearing new things are probably going to dig this, because I really enjoyed listening to it when I listened to it online, and I thought it was really cool. Something definitely different in my library, and I appreciate all kinds of genres of music, and this is jazz, but this is kind of far out jazz. So, all right. We're going to drop on side A. I'm going to listen to at least a song off of each side like I always do, but I'll probably play at least 3 tunes for you guys. And playing on the Fluence RT85 with the Ortofon Blue into my Shipmani preamp, going into my Yamaha HS8 speakers. Okay. This one's called Jitters. And this is an interesting booklet that has each song and a whole written explanation, almost a philosophical explanation for each song. Very interesting. So it's a lot to read here. I've not read this yet. Pretty cool booklet. So Devin plays saxophone, piano, and keyboards on here. A guy named Sam Shalabi plays guitar. Liam O'Neill on drums. Morgan Moore on bass. Janice Lowe on flute. And she has some vocals on the first song. And Ala Dehghan has voice on the second tune. Recorded in Montreal, Canada, at the Hotel Tatango studio. A lot of cool textures and stuff. Guitar over here more. So my record does have a slight warp to it. It's not affecting the sound that I can tell. It's so far quiet pressing. It's definitely an interesting mix. I'll give you a little more on that when we listen to it a little bit more. So you can hear a little bit of surface noise between the tracks. Very interesting. Check out this next tune. I'm gonna let some of this play, called Apollo GY or Apollo Guy. I'm not sure how you... It's an interesting mix here. It's definitely different. It's a very atmospheric sounding mix. And what I mean by that is there's quite a bit of depth to it. It's a very airy sounding mix. Atmospheric, you hear. It's hard to explain. I'm sure you guys can I mean, you can hear all the instruments. It's a good mix, but it's definitely a guitar sounds really cool. So it's definitely a more of a mid-rangey, trebly sounding record. And that's not in a negative way. Your bass is very mid-rangey sounding. So there's not a lot of low end here, at least on this particular record, on this song anyway. We'll let the rest of this song play out and we're gonna flip it over. Just want to give you guys a sampling of this. It's definitely different. And what I mean, I say it's a targeted mix because it's particular. This is not going in the studio and recording a trio or straight ahead jazz where you're just trying to capture the sound of the natural sound of the instruments, right? Here you've got an electric guitar, you've got keyboards, you've got these vocal things that are very atmospheric. And the drums sound good. You hear more of the highs and the mids on those as well. It's definitely an interesting mix. It's definitely meant to convey a certain feeling, and it's really cool. So I'm gonna flip it over and put on the other side. That's two of the 3 songs of the first side you just heard. So I don't want to play the entire record. And there's a US pressing that's 25. The limited pressing is a UK pressing, and I think there's 1,000 of those. And last I looked, there were like 50 left. So if you're one of those people that likes to have the collector's edition, I think there's a different piece of artwork or something included with the limited edition one. I'm going to put a link below to all that stuff so you can go check it out. Definitely a cool album. Definitely its own thing. This is just, to me, art. This is art, and this is something you got to sit back and just take in. And the things sound the way they sound on this mix is because they're using the studio, in my opinion, this is my opinion, to kind of convey also a certain feeling, a certain sound that they're trying to get in the studio, and the way they mix this. So you got the sax over here on this. You've got, it sounds like a keyboard or some kind of something going on over on the left side. And again, that bass is a little bit more on the mid-rangey side than it is really low. But each of these songs has a story conveyed in this book, and it's a pretty long book. I've not read it. I'm gonna have to sit down and go through this and listen to the music and read the stories of each one of them. And they're kind of like philosophical explanations of the tunes, it kind of looks to me. This song is called Medicine Woman meets Father Sky, so it definitely has kind of a tribal feeling to it. Saxophone sounds really nice over here. Cool little things thrown in by the guitar. There's some explanations in here. So, for example, the name of the album is called EEG Coherence. Brain balance, also known as EEG Coherence. This is in the notes here. EEG stands for electroencephalogram. And EEG is a scientific test that measures electrical activity in the brain. So, anyway, you have all these explanations of the tunes and all these, you know, what was behind the record and the songs on the record. So it's very interesting. It's a very good, you know, you hear a lot of detail. It's a very nice sounding record. It's just a different sounding record, which is not a bad thing. This was mixed and produced by Devin. Vinyl is mastered at by Juka Sarapa at Timmy and Cutting. Again, recorded in Montreal at Hotel to Tango by Thierry Amar. This is like a 9-minute and 42-second tune, so these are all pretty long songs. The first song is 6 minutes and 41 seconds. The second one's 6.5 minutes. Third one's 9 minutes and 12 seconds. That makes up your first side. The second side, 9 minutes and 42 seconds and 11 minutes and 44 seconds. So these are all long tunes and all a lot of neat textures and things going on. Very, very experimental in my opinion. Three of the songs on the album are composed by Devin, and the other two songs are composed by the guitar player Sam Shalabi. So, I've had a couple of little ticks or whatever on the vinyl. I could probably clean it again. Again, my big thing it was the way it was shipped, and it got bent up, so that kind of disappoints me. It's not worth me sending it back. So far, the pressing, it's got a tiny warp to it. Nothing that's affecting the play, so I'm not going to worry about it. Cool record. A lot of cool surprises, things that just kind of come out. And pretty cool. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I'll put links below. Nice little book that comes with it. Again, a lot of reading here. So pretty cool. All right, folks. It's cool guitar playing. All right, I recommend this one if you want to take a trip off into, you know, experimental jazz. A lot of cool stuff going on this record. It's definitely a cool, different kind of mix than you would hear on other types of records. It's definitely impactful. I really am enjoying it. This is definitely gonna be one that I'm gonna have to go back and listen to over and over again to really take it all in, but very cool. And I'll be definitely looking at getting more of his releases for sure. All right, happy listening to all you guys out there. Stay tuned. More interviews coming up, more jazz reviews coming up, all kinds of stuff here. So be sure you subscribe, leave your comments. I want to hear what you guys think of this guy. So leave your comments too. We'll talk to you later.